Emmy award-winning music.
Because you're jealous.
I'm jealous. Yeah. My intros are better than yours.
Brought to you by John Williams.
That's right.
Oh, and it's not working tonight either for some reason.
Thank God. We're doing everybody a favor.
Man, what the? Unbelievable. No interest. That's twice this week. I don't understand.
You know what? Wait a second. You need some music? Hang on a second here.
There we go.
We're not going to get copyright infringement.
Oh, I knew he was going to say that. He's all worried.
No. I actually got something that is.
They might view our 8 views on YouTube.
Yeah. No. This one.
No, we're in the teens now. By the way, there, Nick. Okay.
Oh, whoa. I'm going to go buy a new car.
Are you ready? Are you ready to wait? It's almost ready.
Almost.
There you go.
Sounds like mine.
It's not. I don't have it on yet.
Oh.
Trust me, I got to put this off. I got it on blast. This way, people will hear it.
Yeah. I was hoping it's just Raining Men.
That's your tune.
No, it's not.
Hallelujah.
Well, there you go. It's Captain and his, showing off his Brazilian wax that he got yesterday. That he missed the show.
The beard does look sharp, though. I got to give it to him.
The beard looks sharp. It does. The beard looks sharp.
And there's the music.
I only know the Brazilian because that's what Nick tells me. I'm not involved in any of the picture swapping between Captain and Nick with that. So I just put that out there.
Yeah. I actually had better stuff, but this is the only one that I had that was on my what do you call it? The screen. But I got the good shit that we use for Angela's show, but you know what? You're just going to hear Raiders. You can't even hear it. So
we can't hear it. It's fine. So we'll move on with ourselves to
I'll turn it off. There you go.
Are we? My question to you, gentlemen. I know we getting a little bit into hockey before we came on the air. And, I think the Islanders stay hot.
No, we were rudely fucking told, well, don't say it now. Save it for the show. So now it's on the show.
Listen, Brazilian wax. All right. Listen. All right. That's right. You got to save some good stuff for the show. Yeah.
I got my good stuff for the show right here.
Yeah.
And you've seen the pictures too.
Yeah. And he's already freezing out too. You can see it. He's already going in and out,
Yeah.
The coach starting off on a great note like you.
My end looks fine to me.
Doesn't look fine to me.
The only person that says that is your wife.
Because mine's working fine.
Yeah, the only person that says that is your wife.
Yeah. Sure, her nickname for him's Tiny Tim. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, right.
Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh.
All right, so what do you want to start off with, Coach? Hockey or the Hall of Fame? What do you
let's do the hockey and get it out of the way. There's only one game. I mean, It's only one game. Okay, and I Islanders tonight. Islanders coming back. One more game. One game at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tampa Bay is going to do everything in their power to end it tonight. They don't want to go to Game 7 because you go to Game 7,
the pressure becomes a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the pressure's, I think, shifting to them right now. I mean, and look, if you're down after the first period or, a goal or two, they're going to really start grabbing those sticks and you get tight, man. You really do. But I think Tampa's going to come out like, crazy and like I think Tampa wins by multiple goals.
What's up with who?
The Echo.
You got an Echo.
Yeah, I know. It's probably your shitty internet.
No, not internet, man. I'm telling you.
Now there's an echo on yours.
I'm not echoing. You're echoing.
All right.
I turned my speakers down. Maybe that helps.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. But, absolutely. I think the pressure becomes all on Tampa I think the pressure's all on Tampa to close it out, and then if they don't,
yeah, I was going to say, and the best thing is, it's for Tampa. Tampa's got to realize that Dallas is waiting and waiting and waiting, and the more time that you give them to rest and just kind of like, downshift and get any of their players that might have had the bumps and bruises that they needed to get some rest going, and do the minor skates and just keep them upright, and not exert. It definitely is an advantage to the Stars because the Stars have been playing well in the West. I mean, the Stars got rid of what probably was the best team in the West with the Vegas. They dispatched them, so that's one thing down. Tampa Bay is going on now. It's game 6. Could it be game 7? Well, if they don't get their shit together, yeah, it will be, which means another 3 days, and that's all in good time for the Stars. The Stars are – and I don't think the Stars are going to come out and get that. They forgot how to play, kind of like Nick was saying that maybe Tampa Bay would have done that with the Islanders in Game 1, and Tampa just came out and smoked them in Game 1. So I don't think that the Stars would be apt to do the same thing. The Stars are just going to use that rest to their advantage. Yeah. So
and
Tampa
Bay
need to do it. Yeah, Tampa Bay need to do it.
It really is, and you skate better. You're just smoother. There's no doubt about it. And the Stars goalie is just playing great. And that first line for the Stars is just playing unbelievable. And see, Coach just did something that got rid of my echo. So obviously it must have been something on Coach's end. He's not going to admit it, but I can see it on his stupid face.
My stupid face.
I can see you just did something. My echo went away.
Well, I was playing with the volume.
He was playing with something. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, he was playing with something.
Away! The echo went away!
Yeah.
All right, on your end, maybe.
No, on your end, Coach. Just admit it. So, no, I like Tampa. I think Tampa's going to win by multiple goals. I think they win by more than a goal, too. So, bet them straight. Bet them -1.5 if you want. I really think they're going to come out and try to take over the game. Now, Captain, if Tampa does win, anything on if he'll be able to play in the finals? Stamkos we're talking about?
I have yet to hear anything here locally about that. So I would say probably not. I mean, I know that I would have heard it by now if that he's going to be getting ready to play. The last I heard that he's out. And I'll do a quick producer check to see if I hear anything that comes up. But as far as I know, no.
Yeah, and you know what? I gotta wonder if it's almost like Lindros when he came back when they were in the conference finals against the Devils. A lot of players actually thought Lindros shouldn't come back and mess with the chemistry. I know Stamkos is great, but I wonder if they're just like, look, we're playing great. Why mess with it? I know Stamkos is a special player and all, but with how Tampa Bay's playing, do you want to toy with lines? You know what I mean? They're playing pretty good. I know it's 3-2, but still, I mean, Islanders are a good team playing very good hockey at the right time.
Yeah, and I'm even looking the most recent thing that it says about Stamkos here locally is from 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So it's like lightning hopeful on Nikita Kucherov, haven't ruled out Steven Stamkos. That was dated September 3rd, and that's it. So, I mean, if they haven't posted anything up even locally that even hits the internet, I would say that he's definitely, in my estimation, you're not going to see Steven Stamkos this series. Or the next series, I should say.
Well, and if it's Tampa, I think that's going to be a good series because Dallas is playing good defensively with their goalie. I think it was one point the goalie had like 96 of 98 saves or something crazy, or it was something nuts. I mean, he's playing really, really well. And like I said, that first line is dangerous. And, they're like I said about the Flyers, Dallas's best players are elevating their game. And that's why they're in the finals. And that's why the Flyers didn't make it past the second round because their best players aren't elevating their game. And you're seeing that from the Islanders too, with what's it, Brazier, or what?
well, Brazier, we know where your mind's at, literally.
Yeah.
I think it's Barzell.
Barzell, right? Sorry, thank you. And then Anders Lee, so they got a lot. The Islanders' best players are playing well, and we'll see what happens tonight. But I do think Tampa ends it, and then I guess it's Thursday. They'll probably start Sunday or Monday if Tampa can end it tonight.
Depending on because I know Game 7 beat Saturday night,
right.
So probably would be Monday. Would be game 1. So
probably,
and
they're probably now that I think of it too, they're probably not going to want to start on Sunday night against the NFL. So it probably is Monday. That would make the most sense.
Might even go to Tuesday because they don't want to go get Monday Night Football either.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to go up against the Raiders playing the Saints on Monday Night Football, man.
That's a heck of a game, though. Actually, it really is.
Yeah.
For Monday night. And for some of the games they put on there that I'm just like, what are they thinking? Like, Raiders Saints is very interesting. And, with Thomas out, I can tell you, Captain, the line's only 5.5. And some people, they say, they go up to 6. But still, if Thomas was playing, Captain, I think that line would be over 7.5. Because you don't have the factor of the fans, which they say is worth a field goal. Now, like I said, if they were going into Raiders with a full stadium, the line, my guess, would have been 3.5, 4, maybe 5. But when you don't have fans, there's that home field's gone, and you lose that. I mean, you saw it. The one game where you can really say home field advantage, where I saw when the Saints came back after Katrina, man, you could just see that they fed off that blocked punt. By which they actually have a statue of outside the stadium, I believe.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to watch a documentary it's called Gleason. That is a great documentary. Right. He's got ALS now, and it's just powerful. And but yeah, the home field there was just, and it was just special to see. And the Saints had a special year, and that was really where you saw the turnaround in the Saints organization. That's where they started it, and that was the first year of Breeze and Peyton.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to segue into football that quick, so I'm hoping that that coach was like, "What the fuck you doing it so quick?" But
no, I wanted to segue in. I just wanted to talk. The Hall of Fame nominations came out. I wanted to start with that, but we jumped right into, of course, the Raiders.
Only because we were talking about Monday night, Coach. That's the only.
You're right. You're right. If they weren't playing Monday night, it's fine. So let's just take a step back. We'll get into Hall of Fame stuff, and then we'll go back to because obviously
we're backing up.
Thanks. I got that. I got that. Nick didn't. I don't think, but
I got it. Oh yeah. I got it.
Okay. All right. So as we talked earlier offline, obviously Peyton Manning, shoe-in, right? And as you said, Charles Woodson, I think, shoe-in. Hands down, his resume kind of speaks. And then it gets kind of murky, the rest of the field, really. I don't know that anybody jumps out at me. I think Justin Tuck, just because being a Giant fan, you see the guy there, and I'm more biased that way. But he did have a pretty big game in the Super Bowl. I thought that he might have been the MVP if they had not given it to Eli. I thought Justin Tuck was the MVP because he did have 2 sacks in that Super Bowl. So, so that kind of sticks out. But other than that, I really don't know that name. The names on that list don't really, and I know you mentioned the receiver for Detroit is another guy who walked away early. I felt like too,
but he had a long career though, and every year was really dominant. I think he gets in, but that's the toughest position in football.
That is because look at how does he get in? Chris Carter's not in. Art Monk's not in. Monk. I mean,
Chris Carter's in, but it took years.
Right? But Art Monk's not in. I think Art Monk's better than Chris Carter.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would in a close contest when you look at everything he brought to it. Art Monk was deserving. Chris Carter was
and he's got
deserving.
Super Bowl rings.
But it's hard to compare because it's two different eras. You know what I mean? And that's going to be the real problem.
Chris Carter came in the 80s and played into the 90s. Art Monk was an 80s guy
that played into the 2000s.
What?
Chris Carter played into the 2000s.
Right, but here's the thing. And the reason why Chris Carter is in there is because his face is plastered over TV. That was the deciding factor.
He's like second or third, I thought, at one point in receptions, though. I mean, he was pretty damn good. I mean, receivers tough. I'll give you an example. I think like Matt Ryan's like 8th now all time in passing. So there's going to be a lot of these guys because they're playing in the new league of where it's pass, and you're going to see all these records broken, and it's going to be hard to compare. I mean, so all the first people they highlighted that are first-year eligible, Coach, obviously Peyton Manning, Calvin Johnson, which I think he'll get consideration. They have Wes Welker and Roddy White. I don't think either of them get in. Heath Miller, I don't think he's got a chance. Steven Jackson, no. And then linemen, they got Logan Mankins, maybe because of the Patriots' success, the Brickashaw Ferguson. Right. I don't think he had a sustained career long enough.
He did. No, the Brickashaw was solid. I mean, but he's a guy I think walked away early as well. But he was a staple from day one when they drafted him until he walked away. I don't think he missed many football games.
No, you're right.
You know, he was a staple with the Jets there. So,
and then the last are Peanut Tillman, Charles Woodson, who I think him and Manning, I think, are the definites. And then you got 3 defensive linemen, Jared Allen, Justin Tuck, Kevin Williams, and then Gerard Mayo. And then there's a bunch of, obviously, people who are, second year or more, which you got like, McNabb, McNair, Drew Bledsoe, and it's going to be tough for those guys. But you look at some of the receivers, Torrey Holt, who had a pretty nice career, Chad Johnson, Jimmy Smith, Rod Smith, Hines Ward, Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne's kind of surprising. He had a pretty long career and with 2 different quarterbacks, with Peyton and obviously with he had a good start with Andrew Luck as well.
I think it's what's going to keep him out is his issue. Are you talking? Wait, is it Reggie Wayne you're talking about?
You're talking about the issue. He didn't have a gun with a gun or something. He's from Philly, I believe.
Right.
Yeah,
right. And I wanted to make sure I was talking about the right guy. But yeah, he had a gun incident in Philly, and that's going to be one of those things that might keep him out for a bit.
I'm speaking wrong. It wasn't Reggie Wayne. You're right, Captain. Marvin Harrison. That's what I'm mixing up. Yep.
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison from Philly. I knew he was from Philly, though, Captain.
Yeah, that's what I could say because I knew about the gun incident, but I wanted to make sure we were talking about the right Colts receiver.
Yeah, and then when I thought about it, and I'm glad you put that up because that's what it is. And there he is, Jared, hopping in.
Yeah,
one kicker. Is his right? Is there a kicker?
One true kicker, and this is what we were talking about on my show the other day. Because you were talking about Janikowski, I said, no. If you look at all of the kickers that they've been putting up, and there's only one, you guys don't know who it is. Only one true kicker.
No, Vinatieri will get in. Vinatieri will be the second. I think.
That'll be the second. And we're talking about true kickers. Lou the Toe Groza is in.
Right.
George Blanda is in, but those were kicker. Lou Groza was like a kicker tackle. Okay. George Blanda was a kicker quarterback. The only true kicker in the Hall of Fame and well-deserving is Jan Stenerud.
Okay.
Did not know that. I would never, wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, so, but that's why people were talking about.
Morton Anderson's not in?
No.
I thought Morton.
He shouldn't be in either. He kicks every field goal and then misses. Oh, no, that wasn't. That was. I'm thinking the guy from the Vikings. Remember, he made every kick that year.
Gary Anderson. Yeah, the wrong right.
Anderson was on the Falcons that year. That's why I remembered. He was on the other team.
Yeah, Anderson versus Anderson. Gary had not missed a kick the entire year, and then when they needed it most, he missed it.
Can you imagine? It's like Scott Norwood with the Bills. Could you imagine missing that field goal? Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize, Angela. Yeah, it was our show. I'm sorry. It was our show the other night. I couldn't remember if it was our show or my solo. But
Angela, you forget he's the hardest working guy who's not on his back on the internet that has his own stylist. I mean, come on. Right. How many guys do you know has a stylist? You know, I don't know. I just don't know. You know, he's got. Apparently, Nick said he's got the Brazilian. I don't want to see any pictures, but you know, hey, each their own.
No. My Brazilian is up here, baby. That's it. I got the Brazilian up here.
Now, one thing I would say to Jared, because Jared's a Pittsburgh guy, his Steelers look good. I think Pittsburgh, I know it's one game, so you don't want to go crazy, but I really think they do have the best defense in football this year. I know they played Coach's Giants, but, I mean, they were swarming Daniel Jones, and then you forget you got Joe Hayden as a corner, you got Minka Fitzpatrick at safety. There is talent all over that defense.
Who's Fabio?
Man, your boy Spiz is just man kissing up big time, man.
Hey, and you know what? I thought of Angela last night when I was up late. I was watching Moneyball, and they were saying that they were talking about Fabio, and the one guy says, "Who's Fabio?" He said, "Oh, he's the shortstop with the Indians." You know, it's like he didn't know who the hell Fabio was.
And speaking of the Indians, man, 8 straight games now they've lost. You know, they have a great pitching staff. They just can't hit for shit.
How about the Yankees turning it around, scoring all these runs, man? I mean,
well, they're getting healthy now. You know, you got both guys
healthy
back
at the right time.
And look, I think Voit, should be a guy. I know Abreu for the White Sox is having a great year, but Voit should have MVP consideration. That's the kind of year he's having. And then
he's leading the league in home runs right now. He's really, but kind of, hey, Gary Sanchez, I think Gary got a tap on the shoulder last night or the night before. When your backup hits 3 dingers,
3 home runs, right?
And you're hitting $120. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're not even hitting your weight. In fact, you're hitting your weight by half.
Right.
Yeah,
and just think too, they were talking about having to sign him. He's lost millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, right now you don't give him more than a 1-year deal. A 1-year, hey, man, maybe give him a couple million. I don't know if you give him that. Prove it to me.
Well, he did just win arbitration and got like a raise. He went from making like $700,000 to make like $7 or $8 million. Him and Judge they won their arbitration. So we got a call, guys. So let's.
I know who it is. It's Jared.
I already know. All right.
I'm right.
Jared, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the Huddle.
Hey, guys. What's going on? First, I got to say sorry about your G-Men and Daniel Dimes the other night. How he got swarmed a little bit by TJ Watt of the big bad field piece. So I'm picking them this week against Chicago. I think they're going to rebound this week against Chicago.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think so. Chicago did give up a bunch of points to Detroit. So I do think, and that Giant defense impressed me. They hung in there for a while. I mean, you take away a couple of mistakes by the offense, obviously not scoring a touchdown on 1st and goal and throwing a couple interceptions, but I think that defense played pretty well.
Yeah, they did. They really did, and I think they'll be ready this week. We'll see what happens. So I think you're going to see a rebound this week. Overall, how you talk about kickers, you remember when Anderson, or another one, Gary Anderson, I got to tell you a funny story about that in a minute. There's another kicker who should be, and I said it in the chat. What about Gorilla, the Gorilla? I mean, he was a halfway decent kicker back in the day. Cap remembers him.
He's okay. I mean, he's okay, but he's not a Hall of Fame worthy kicker. I mean, if you're going to talk about Roy Girella versus Janikowski, I'll say Janikowski all day of the year, and that's not me being biased. It's like Girella was right. Girella was a good kicker, but he wasn't, all the accolades. I'm wondering why the Gogolaks aren't considered for consideration as well, Pete and Charlie, because they were the modern day kickers that brought the soccer style kick to the NFL. And I think that if you're going to put a kicker in, then do something that's worthwhile with that. And that's one of the reasons why Stenerud got in, was because it was after the Gogolax came over and brought that style in there. Then Jan came over, fantastic career with the Chiefs. I think he ended it with the Vikings. I might be mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right. Went from the Chiefs to the Vikings, but long-term career, and the only kicker that is a true kicker that's in the Hall of Fame. Now, Morton Anderson, I think, will eventually get there because he's been, people have been pushing for him, not
Hasn't he run out of time, though? Hasn't his time expired?
Yeah, they might have to put him in with the senior committee.
The special group or whatever they do.
Yeah,
the senior committee. Yeah. And that was, if you're talking about, and I'm going to shut up right after this point. If you're going to talk about, Seawood getting in, if you're going to talk about Justin Tuck getting in, and you need to talk about Tom Flores being considered by the senior committee, and he definitely needs to go in if he is their candidate, because if they screw him over again, it'll look really bad on them. But if all three of them make it, that's 3 Raiders. I know Tuck's primarily a Giant, but that would actually be 3 for the Raiders, which is unheard of in any season at all.
I think Sean Landeta.
Yeah, but there's one. Wait, I'm going to bring up one Raider that should be. Okay, why isn't Bo Jackson in the Hall? He is the only athlete.
But
he was
Coach,
an all-pro in the NFL. He was an all-star.
That doesn't matter. It's the NFL Hall of Fame, not the Athletes Hall of Fame.
Doesn't matter. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
It does. It's not the Athletes Hall of Fame. It's the NFL Hall of Fame, not the Athletes.
Doesn't matter.
He got hurt. He didn't have a long enough career. How many Pro Bowls did he make? Look, Bo Jackson's great. I'm not, but he got hurt. It sucks. But you got to have at least 5-6 years of sustained success, and he doesn't have that. I mean,
I think he might have that.
Yes, he has.
Right there.
He has.
5. Yeah, I think it's right there, right around 5. And there's the other thing. It's like he had a shortened career. Oh, and again, Jared's still on the line. I apologize,
sorry, Jared,
because we went off on tangent. But this is Coach's fault this time because it's him. But I'm going to say, if you're going to have it where you have a shortened career, Gale Sayers had a shortened career, but he had a sustained, wonderful shortened career over that time, and he's in the Hall of Fame. He actually backed down. Jimmy Brown actually had a shortened, sustained, shortened career. So there are pluses and minuses for that. But let's get back to Jared before he gets off the off the line. Jared, you still there?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Gary Anderson. I'll tell you a story about him. And I'm still here, guys. Yes. Talk to you guys, and however, and everything like that. And I got U.S. Open, maybe the Super Cup. You guys probably didn't get into it just yet, however. As far as Gary Anderson goes, I said in the chat, he did screw me. People point out, I'll tell you this story. The year Minnesota was supposed to be going to the Super Bowl, this was when they had Dante Culpepper, remember? They Minnesota, however. Well, as it's one good friend's brother, Howard, that year, however, my hair. I actually bet my head, however, and if they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, he would have to shave my head. Keep in mind it's in the early part of January, mind you. And basically, after Gary Anderson missed that field goal, I think it was late in the fourth quarter of that game that year, however, I ended up having my head shaved after. It took about 3 or 4 weeks for my hair to grow back. So I had a buzz cut in late January. Think how cool was it? It's an Oscar the picture to prove it, too. It was pretty fine back then. But yeah, getting to the U.S. Open, however, I mean, Justin Thomas was a hot golfer today with Patrick Reed, of course, Reed nailing a hole-in-one. Rory McIlroy looking very good at 67 along with Lee Westwood and Louis Oosthuizen and Dennis English there, 3 shots back. But the big disappointment today, honestly, was Tiger. 3 over today.
I forgot the U.S. Open was today. I didn't even know.
Yeah, right.
I think he's not going to make it.
Wow.
Well, the last time I checked, the Tiger was at even, so he must have blew up on his last 9 or something. Because I looked, he was even. So I guess he fucked up the last several.
I think it said. I think the last 2 holes he really blew up on. He was doing. He was. I think even in the front 9 and then the back 9, 3 holes just completely fell apart.
All right. All right, Jared. Good stuff. We appreciate the call, buddy. Thanks, man.
Now, just so I can prove that I was right, I looked up, and I'm 100% right. Anybody who disagrees with me is dead wrong. Bo Jackson played 4 years, never had 1,000 yards rushing in 1 year, 2,782 yards rushing. That's not a Hall of Famer, guys. Sorry.
Okay, well, and again, I was off by a year.
No, I know, but if you don't have 1 year of 1,000 yards, you're not a Hall of Famer.
Oh, okay, but wait a second. Transpose that rushing average, because he didn't play a full season in any of those years. He came in after baseball. He missed about the first five.
But your ability.
That's my point. That's
your ability is your availability too, and if you don't play, that doesn't. That's part of it.
If you miss 5 games out of 16, okay, but your YPG is astronomical, okay. If your yards or carry is up at like whatever it was, then transpose will in a real season with 16 games plus the playoffs. Although the playoffs that he would have been in was the one that he a
lot of ifs and a lot of wouldas here. I mean, and that just doesn't factor in. I'm just saying 2,800 yards isn't a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry.
I'm not espousing Bo Jackson for the Hall of Fame, but if you're going to say a guy that was worthy of the Hall of Fame, if he would have stayed injury-free and he would have had those extra games, Bo Jackson is a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. If he doesn't hurt the hip, but he hurt the hip,
misdiagnosed too.
Right. Now he probably would have been able to return, and it's a shame, but and he probably is the greatest dual athlete ever. I'm not him or Dion, because Dion was a pretty good baseball player too, but I think Bo Jackson played at a better level at both and more consistent. But I mean, look, and an all-star both obviously too. But I mean, I just 2,800 yards, man. I can't. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
All right.
I think a lot of people too love the run in the Monday Night Football game, running over Bosworth. So there is that too. I mean, there is that. Bo knows Bo, and so he does, and I get it. Look, a lot of people look up to Bo. I know one of my friends that was his hero. He was one of the guys on that. If you remember the cartoon where it was Wayne Gretzky, Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, I think, but they had 4 guys in the cartoon. Bo was one of them. So look, he did have that for a while with just superstar status, but. Yeah, I don't think I would bet money he wouldn't get in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he will, and it's only because of that injury. I said if he would have had the sustainability, because they would have said, listen, he had say he had the 4 years, and I thought he had 5. I was mistaken, but if you would have thrown on another 4, another 5 years, where he had that half playing half and half. And who's to say that maybe eventually would have said, well, I want to do this full time. And Bo don't know. Yeah, Bo does know Diddley. And if Bo Diddley was there on that commercial, and then with Michael Jordan is saying Bo knows tennis, or Bo knows,
right. Now, is he in the Raiders Hall of Fame?
Raiders don't have a Hall of Fame.
Okay.
They will at the new stadium. They're actually going to have, because that was one of the reasons why they said we need a new stadium to do this. So they're actually going to have a Raiders Hall of Fame at that new stadium.
Well, I'm sure not to be, I know they love Bo, but there's a lot of, classic Raiders are going to have to put Howie Long, and Raiders have so many great players, that are going to, Art Shell. There's so many, and you quarterbacks, you got players all over the board with the Raiders. The great Lyle Alzado, although, I loved him, man. He just, how can't you love him?
Right. Yeah, well, okay, yeah, McEnroe said Bo knows tennis, but Michael Jordan said something as well. Okay, yeah. McEnroe said Bo knows tennis, but Michael Jordan was saying Bo knows something else. I just picked a sport at random, but yeah, they had all these other athletes that was saying what Bo knows. And the Raiders are the only, I don't know if they're the only team, but that's one of the reasons why the Raiders have never retired a number, because Al Davis said that there are too many great players that if they retired all the numbers, we'd have to have triple digits going out there every year, or all the players, because all the numbers would be retired and they couldn't use them.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. There is a ton of guys that they could definitely would be in consideration. But I mean, I guess you could do like a Ring of Honor type thing and keep the number. You know what I mean? So you don't retire the number per se.
Right. There is actually one number that is retired by the NFL, and it is because of a Raider.
What number is that?
00, Jim Otto. There, no team could wear, and the only other person that wore 00 to good stature was Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Okay.
He was right. He went to the high school, actually, with my high school rival, but we played each other in the Turkey Bowl. And Angela said, DeMarcus Russell winning the Hall of Shame.
His quarterback used to be my neighbor here in Dilley.
Oh, really? Yeah, because he went to Widener too, Coach, which you know is right by me. Yep. You know, and he went to play to Chichester, who was our Turkey Bowl rival. And
because I remember he was my neighbor was when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl before they won it. The other time they were in the Super Bowl. He said, "Yeah, I got to go down to. I got to stop in Atlanta first to see Billy White Shoes to get my Super Bowl tickets."
Ow.
The Atlanta Super Bowl? You mean the Super Bowl where a certain middle linebacker from the Ravens allegedly had an incident? Because I know
no, that happened. That happened years before. I think it was the.
They were in Jacksonville when the Eagles played.
Yeah, that was the Jacksonville Super Bowl.
Oh, okay, okay. Then because you gave me Atlanta, and I remember specifically that it was in Atlanta.
That's why they made them. They let the Ravens get to the Super Bowl the following year, so they keep them out of trouble. That's my conspiracy. They had let the Ravens go to the Super Bowl and win, so that
let them go. They beat your city Giants. That's why he's pissed off. Man, holding the grudge.
Technically, wait a second. Technically, I believe the Ravens have. That's a shutout, that game, because the Giants' offense didn't score. That was a kickoff return.
Yeah,
that they have basically had a shutout for the Super Bowl. I don't think any team.
That's okay, Coach, because the Ravens had the belly flop on Gannon in order to go to that game. We would have kicked your ass either, so don't worry about it. You would have gotten.
I agree.
Don't get me started there, but I don't know about that.
No, they would have. I mean, although that Giants team did
wait a second. If you remember, that Super Bowl was only 1 week, and it wasn't 2. You didn't have the 2 week long, and
Coach,
that really
were going to lose.
The Giants were bad. I think it hurt the Giants being a 1 week.
They were losing that Ravens team or that Raiders team, no matter what. That was probably that was the worst Giants team to ever be in a Super Bowl.
The Kerry Collins Giants team would have gotten schmumped by whichever team went there, and that's not Giants hate. That's just looking at who was in charge of that offense in the Giants. Kerry Collins, scary Kerry? No, not at all. Not at all.
All right. I like
that.
That's Coach's way of saying, yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Look, that Ravens defense was all-time great. They really were. Yeah. I mean, look, Trent Dilfer, come on, man. And I know Trent did have some success, but that offense was terrible.
But there's another guy. First overall pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shit the bed there and then goes somewhere else and has success. Regardless, he had success. He was at the helm when they won a Super Bowl.
Right.
And I'm telling you,
the Ravens didn't think it was
going to be the same guy. Same guy. They're already talking about.
Your internet's killing me, dude. Your internet's killing me. But Ravens didn't think it was.
Shut up and let me finish. How about that?
You do, but your fucking internet sucks, dude.
It's not mine. It's yours. I'm tired of it,
yes,
man.
Captain, tell him it's his. Mine's not going out. His is. But the Ravens replaced him the next year.
Yeah, I think They,
If he was so great, they would have replaced him.
yeah,
it was the end of his career anyway. Doesn't matter. He still had success. He was there for 2 years.
Another argument you lost, Coach. Just take the L.
All right, whatever. He went in there and beat the rookie that highly drafted flunky that never made it anywhere.
Tony Banks.
He beat that kid out. What?
Tony Banks.
No, it wasn't Banks.
Yes,
it was the other guy.
No, it was Tony Banks. You're wrong there too, Coach. Like usual.
All right.
Are you talking about the guy whose wife is hot?
Now we're talking about who Trent Dilfer ended up taking the job from on the 2000 Ravens, and I'm almost positive it was Tony Banks. But Coach is going to challenge me, so I'm looking it up. But I'm always right. Coach is always wrong. I'm not really worried about it.
Okay, so I'm not going to look it up because you're going to.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it right now, Captain.
Okay.
And let's see, Tony Banks. I was right. Thank you. I'm always right. Already got it. It was Tony Banks. I'm right.
Okay.
Another L for Coach, or whatever we put it. Another L for him. Coach is used to L's though.
Yeah. Whatever.
Well, at least his team isn't spelled Bills.
Yeah, that's right.
I saved you, Coach. I gave you a segue to get you out of that hole. There
now,
you go.
One thing I did hear that I think Mekhi Parsons, I think he said he's opening to coming and playing now because he opted out at first. I think Mekhi Parsons, who is critical to Penn State's success because he's the best defensive player in football, I think, college football, that is, obviously. But I think he said today, obviously, that he would play for Penn State. And it looks like they're going to have to be a door open for him to return. So that's good news for Penn State because they're going to play, I think, 9 straight weeks up to December 18th. That's what we're looking at for the Big Ten.
Yeah, but did you see Rutgers? Did you see the statement Rutgers put out?
No.
They weren't happy. Well, we'll see if we can do it or not. We'll see how it goes.
Do you think the Big Ten gives a shit if Rutgers plays or not? I mean, maybe in a couple of years.
That's the thing. No, because you know Greg Schiano. We have some connections.
He's a good coach, man. I'm not taking it from him.
He's a good coach, but I just feel like the non-athletic people making athletic statements again annoys the crap out of me.
Right.
And that is a bother. I can't stand it when these, chancellors and school presidents who forget that most of the money generated from your school comes from your football program because you forget that the Big Ten writes you a $10 million check every year. Right. You forget that.
Well, I think
and
that's
then you're
why they
go out and say things like that.
I think that's why they wanted to postpone to spring because they wanted to get that gate. They want that gate. That's big money that goes into those universities and those towns.
Right.
So, and I love how they say that in this last month they've looked into it more and the data's changed. That's bullshit. It was pressure. And all these other conferences are playing. Nobody gives a shit about the Pac-12.
And how about, but now all of a sudden, I don't see, the FCS change, like they're not playing still. And Division III, nobody else is playing. Like, why aren't you, I feel bad for those kids,
I do too.
Everybody else, they got to sit there and watch.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They got to sit there and watch these other guys play, and they don't get to play. That's not good.
No, I agree with you, Coach.
Shame on Division III and everybody else who canceled so damn early.
But, Coach, a shame on everybody. I think a shame on the high school kids, too. I mean, all these high school kids want to play around me, and they're not. I believe the DIAA in Delaware is playing, correct?
They are. They're starting in September.
Now, and Captain, high school football down in your area playing or no?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Let the kids play. And like I said, that's the parent and the player's decision. And if a parent or player, they don't want their kid to play, I respect that. And that's your decision for your family and your child. But if they want to play, let them play. I mean, we're supposed to live in a free country with all this shit. And I just don't understand it. These kids, you don't see any kids or any of these athletes hospitalizations. We're not even talking about deaths. I'm talking about hospitalizations. None of them have to even go to the hospital. You heard Ogeron. He said most of the team had it. Right. I mean, and look, the one thing, Coach, too, with the Big Ten, I don't know if you heard they're going to do. So the last week where they have the championship, they're going to have the Big Ten championship, and then all the other teams are going to play consolation rounds. So that'll be something that's a little different too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Rutgers gets an extra game, and Maryland,
Yeah.
So if Rutgers lasts that long, because we'll see. I mean, come on, man.
Well, Maryland was trying to become the East Coast Oregon, I believe, because they isn't Under Armour the guy went to Maryland.
Under Armour, they did. Let me tell you, I've been there. My friend of mine was on the staff, and I got to go down and kind of see that process. That indoor facility is second to none anywhere. I mean, when you talk about the amount of talent that comes out from the DMV down there, and now I believe Maryland can compete when you walk on that campus, and that indoor facility is second to none. Now you're competing with the Ohio States and the Michigans of the world because of that facility. And yes, Under Armour has, because the guy Plank came from Maryland, so they're kind of the testing site for Under Armour and their gear and all that stuff. So yes, they're kind of the East Coast Oregon of uniforms and all that stuff. So
that's the one thing I'll never understand about Penn State, Coach, and we've talked about this before, why they let Larry Johnson go. Because he has such a reach down in Maryland and that area and gets a lot of kids to Ohio State. And he just, one of those guys, great defensive line coach, too. And obviously his son was Larry Johnson, the running back for the Chiefs, and the guy who great running back for Penn State. No, but great recruiter. And it was, he does great for Ohio State. Never understood why Penn State let him walk out the door.
Well, sometimes when you have things like that go on, I think it's time. It's good to just change the entire staff.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that situation or not, Coach. I'm not sure. You might be right though.
It was during that time, and I just know with my friend of mine being on the staff during that whole thing at Maryland, it was just
yeah. And he was headed in the right direction too with that team, and then that happened.
Yeah. Yes. And my whole thoughts on that process. I'm not going to get into it again, but so we'll see. But that facility at Maryland, I mean, they are really doing some good things, and I think you're going to start seeing them put that fence. We used to call it, we got to put a fence around our area and stop getting plucked, because how many times Ohio State, Penn State, they all go and get into that reach in the DMV, Florida, it's everywhere. They come from there because you got a lot of talent because of, obviously the jobs, you have the government and they take people from everywhere. So you get a lot of talent gets into that area. So.
Yeah, and I just looked it up. Larry Johnson left when Franklin came in. He said he felt like he got looked over again, and he went and took the defensive line assistant head coaching job at Ohio State.
Okay.
I mean, assistant head coach, that probably meant a lot, to him. I mean, coach
Urban
Meyer.
It comes with a little pay bump as well. So, and that's kind of, how they do that to keep guys and justify giving them a raise is, they add some more titles to your resume anyway, So.
Well, I think that's going to be the interesting thing with Captain.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Is seeing with I think Marinelli's going to take that defense over. I really do. I think he's the right guy for the job. I know Gruden was high on Gunther, but the pressure is going to get bigger. And Matt Marinelli, like Captain said, man, he is just great at schemes and running defense and play calling and blitz packages and just so I think Marinelli will end up being the D coordinator.
I think so. I'm just not sure whether that they are going to do it overtly.
Right. It might be respectful
let me ask you this, Captain. Let me ask you this. Is Gunther, who's in the box? Who's in the box and who's on the field?
Gunther's on the field.
Then you'll never hear the change. You won't see it. because
you'll trust me
because Marinelli's up in the box and he's going to be in the ear and he'll be the guy calling it.
See that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You won't see it, but you'll see it. The minute that Marinelli takes over that defense, it won't be 4 guys rushing with 7 dropping back. It'll be 6 rushing or 8 rushing. You'll see a noticeable change in scheme and overt, going after the quarterback or different things. It won't be announced, but you'll be able to tell, well, fucking Marinelli is the DC now. Like I said, it won't be announced, but you'll know. You'll know. It'll be that. It'll be so obvious that it'd be just like somebody went out and passed around a fucking petition that was signed at halftime. You'll see it that first game.
Plus, it's that Tampa 2 style. You know what I mean? And look, you saw it with, and I know Coach loves him because I do. I wish we would have kept him around. But Spags, man, and you see him everywhere he goes. 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, and he was a big part of that Super Bowl with the Chiefs last year because he finally got that defense playing the right way and blitzing. And because, look, the defense isn't great, but they do have guys that can get pressure on the quarterback with Chris Jones and Frank Clark. And then obviously you do have Tyron the Honey Badger Mapu in the secondary. So they worked around those guys, and he toned it up and got that aggressive style he has, and he loves the overload blitz. Spags loves that overload blitz.
Right. Now let's, we're getting up on it. So let's get to the Steamers tonight and see, I mean,
and I was going to say, I wanted to ask Jared while he was on the line. I said, who do you got in the toilet bowl tonight?
But let me ask you, I mean, Case Keenum is the backup in Steamerland. I mean, if, Baker Mayfield, is he going to be on a short leash? I mean, if he plays bad tonight again, do you start thinking that because Case Keenum was, he had all that success with his head coach in Minnesota. So does that head coach decide that I got to pull Baker?
I think it's too early and they have too much invested in him. What do you think, Captain? I just don't think they'll do it.
Yeah, I think that it would. I mean, second game of the season, no.
Right. I think it's a panic move.
No, I'm just saying after this game, does that leash become short? I'm not saying this game
but still,
he has
it's only
a bad
2 games game.
Well, I would look to see.
But he's had 2 bad games. Does that leash?
Yeah, but it's a new offense too.
I would look to see where their bye week is. That's
right.
That's where you usually see things going. I don't know where it is, but let's see where it is. If it looks like it's going to be, that he's playing horribly, he plays horribly tonight. He's not has a good game next week because everybody's throwing out there said that friggin' Baker Wonderful has more TV time in friggin' commercials than he does with anything else. He obviously didn't spend a lot of time doing anything other than commercials over the offseason. Granted, it was COVID, but still, that's no excuse. He should have had his ass in a playbook figuring out what was going on, and it just doesn't seem like he cares.
Well, I'll say this, Coach. So they play Cincinnati this week and then Washington next week. Let's say they somehow start 0-3. Then maybe after week 3, if you start 0-3, it's just with the new offense, the new head coach. I don't think after 2 games they pull the plug. I think it's early. I think after 3 games would be early, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think you're trying to win. As a coach, I'm trying to win. And if I think Case Keenum knows my offense and he gets the best chance, I'm pulling the kid because he's not tied to me. I didn't bank on this kid. I didn't draft this kid. I didn't do that. I'm not tied to him. I need to win and save my job so that I can draft a kid in the next draft. So I think that leash has got to become pretty quickly.
And Keenum had his most success with Stefanski in Minnesota, obviously. So you know it's possible.
Right. Do you like this game? Are you doing anything with this game? I mean,
I think you
just
stay away
because it's so bad.
I mean, look, Burrow looked good. If I do anything, I'm going to take the Browns down to pick. They're laying 6 tonight, so take them in a tease with another team. But I wouldn't lay 6. I wouldn't take 6. I don't trust either of these teams. It's hard right now to handicap with the home field advantage situation. And look, Joe Burrow looked decent against a good Chargers defense. Yeah, like I said, if I did anything, it would be Cleveland in a tease. I think Cleveland will win the game, but I wouldn't bet on -6. I'll tell you that much. How do you trust Cleveland?
And half their offensive line is not. I don't think half their starting offensive line is playing tonight.
I didn't know that.
Jarvis is out. And Conklin and the rookie offense, the 2 tackles are hurt, and the center's hurt. Wow. Like, I don't know. They're all game time decisions. And Olivier Vernon on defense, which I know he's not much, but I'm just throwing out there guys that may not play tonight. So
Angela's going to Vegas. Or they're not having fans though, right? Were they just having a get together in Vegas, Captain?
Yeah, it's the big for the opener. By the way, the Browns is bye is 11-8, so it wouldn't have been until like it's 11-1, so it wouldn't be technically the 1st of November. It'd be the second week in November.
It's after your Raiders too, Captain.
Oh, okay. Well, trust me. Hopefully we just spank that ass. But it is. It's a tough game for the. Oh, thanks there, Stiz. See you guys Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't forget our fantasy show on Sunday.
Yeah,
we're right up against it, guys. So let me plug the show. Then Captain can plug his, and Nick can sit there and shake his head the whole time.
It's just because Captain's trying to talk, and you just keep steamrolling over him. I feel bad for him.
So,
You're
go ahead, because we're getting involved in all this other stuff. I don't care about the buy of the Browns. Who gives a shit? I mean, come on.
You're the one who brought up Baker.
I was looking for it, you fucker. You're the one who was saying shit about when you pull him. It's too early to pull him. I actually was doing my job.
I'm not waiting that long. End of story. So anyway, go make sure you tell your friends, like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, check out the podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, anywhere you check it out. And
don't piss off.
Go get something to eat, and then check out Captain on his show tonight.
Is that right, Captain? The way he's got it?
Yes, it is. That is correct. Captain Jack Rackham Levy. Well, at least, if you find me on YouTube, put spaces between Captain Jack and Rackham and Levy, but that's okay. Look for that. You'll find me.
It won't let me put the spaces in, Captain. I'm sorry.
I just was making the point. I was asked 2 fucking direct questions, and I get shit for it with my fucking Brazilian wax right here for you. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
And Captain, you got any words for Sully?
Hey, Sully, fuck you.
Hey, Captain, I'm going to end with this. I want a meal, not a snack, buddy.
Oh.
It's a fucking smorgasbord down here, asshole.
All right, everybody. Enjoy the toilet bowl tonight. We'll see everybody on Monday. Have a safe weekend. And don't forget to check out Captain in a little bit and like my page. All right, take care.
See you guys Sunday.
Take care.
Yeah, see you Sunday.